Inevitably, the question comes up with every client I have: what's my personal injury claim worth? Now, I always have to tell people up front at the very first meeting, there is no formula for determining the value of anybody's personal injury case. In fact, that's one of the things the judge tells the jury. For example, when we're asking for damages for pain and suffering, the judge actually tells the jury after closing arguments, there is no formula, there is no yardstick. It is up to you, the jury, to determine what is fair based on the evidence. But there's a lot of factors that go into determining what is a fair settlement value for every personal injury case. We can't ever guess exactly what a jury's going to do, but we do kind of have an educated guess as to the range of what outcomes are possible at trial. One of the most important factors is liability clear, or is there a question as to whether our client contributed to the wreck? In Alabama, we have the contributory negligence doctrine, where if the person bringing the claim contributed to the wreck in a negligent manner, then they may get nothing at all, even if they just contributed to it slightly. So that's the first factor. Does our client have any culpability whatsoever? Another one of the most obvious important factors is, how bad were you hurt? It's one thing if you had to go to a chiropractor for neck stiffness and soreness and it got better. It's another thing if you had multiple fractures or had to have a surgery, or you have some permanent injury. So obviously that's an important factor. The people who get very big settlements or verdicts usually do have severe injuries. You see it on billboards, so-and-so got me $800,000. Well, if you're getting $800,000, I promise you, you had very severe injuries, a lot of medical costs. So getting a ton of money usually is reflective of the fact of how bad someone's hurt. Other factors that go into it are, what are the amount of medical bills? Some people have health insurance, and that's admissible evidence in court. So if somebody has health insurance that paid for a lot of medical bills, that may make the jury verdict a little bit smaller, because we only have to pay back what the health insurance paid out of the verdict. If somebody doesn't have health insurance, well, those medical bills are going to be a lot larger. Another one of the things you want to think about in putting a value on a personal injury claim is, who is the defendant? Who is the plaintiff? We're always trying to guess what a jury would do, because if you can't get your case settled, a jury will tell you the value of your case. And some of a jury trial is kind of a popularity contest. It's not really fair, but it's true. How likable is the defendant? Is it a sweet old grandma who is on her way to Sunday school when she rear-ended you? Or was it somebody, racing down the highway on their way to a liquor store on a Friday night? Well, it can be the same type wreck. It'd still be a bad rear-end collision, but if it's the grandma on her way to Sunday school, your case may not be worth as much as if it was somebody racing to their liquor store. So those things matter, and you can't really put those on paper. They're not, definite damages, but it's something that goes into the soup of determining what your case is worth. Another important factor is, what is the venue of where the wreck happened or where the incident happened? Juries in different areas of the country kind of do different things. You could have one case in Alabama and one case in New York, and they could be the exact same case. But a jury up in New York may give a ton of money in a verdict, where in Alabama they give half that or a quarter of that. So you got to look at the actual jury pool as to where the case would be tried if it went all the way to trial, because there's tendencies there. And like I said, if you can't get your case settled, the jury will tell you what your case is worth. So at the end of the day, when we're trying to advise clients about what their personal injury case is worth, We're looking at past jury verdicts for cases that were similar. I mean, that's the only guidebook, if you will, in trying to determine what a fair settlement value is. So there is no formula. There can only be educated guessing done by lawyers who have been to trial, have seen what juries do. That's really the only way to know what your personal injury claim is worth.